To some people, spending $7,000 on a camera is a lot of money no matter what, but spending $7,000 on a camera that's 5 years old, that just seems crazy. But yet, it's exactly what I did, and I don't regret my decision. I did want to tell you about 5 reasons why I think that the FX6 is still a fantastic camera to buy, even 5 years old. If you're new around here, my name is Scott and I own a video production company called Scaling Creative, and I do all sorts of videos about tech on this channel. And because video production is still a big part of the work that I do, every once in a while, I also like talking about cameras and other tech like that. So not gonna bore you with all the specs, just gonna tell you why it matters to you. So hit subscribe if that's something you're into. The ergonomics of this camera are something that I really was attracted to, primarily because not only does it fit incredibly in your hand, having all these custom buttons all over the camera are really nice when you're actually shooting. You can route so many different buttons to do so many different things when you're shooting, and when you're a run and gun style shooter like myself and you do a lot of content creation for companies on the go and you're primarily shooting by yourself, it's nice to have just a camera that is great to use all day but also just has so much customization and quick access to things that you might want to access on a regular basis. I really like that. And from an ergonomics standpoint, I know a lot of people have this argument, but depending on your clientele, I think there's no doubt about it that the FX6 looks more professional than the FX3. Now I know this is debated. Believe me, I get it. But there's something to be said about when this camera is taken out for a video shoot, whether it's on a tripod or whether you're filming with that client, compared to something like the FX3. Though the FX3 is a phenomenal camera, to the average person, to the average client that knows nothing about video production, sometimes the look of that style camera, looking more like a photo camera to an average client, is sometimes just different. In just the 6 months that I have owned this camera, it's actually surprising how many people have said things about the camera that don't really know anything about cameras. Clients just being really impressed with just the way that it looks, even though the quality is not that much different than what I'm getting from the FX3. But I really like having a very professional style body for some of the client work that I do. And when you pull this out and you start to film, to some clients, it may feel like this is why we pay the extra money. Now, I know this will be debated. Feel free to debate it in comments, but I just know it to be true. Second thing for me is battery life. Now, I'm actually using the small rig batteries, not the actual Sony batteries, but each one of these batteries gets me about 5 hours of shooting. So if I'm in a full day shoot, I just need to bring 2 batteries with me, and I've had no problem whatsoever using those 2 batteries for the entire day. I like just not really having to carry around batteries, and if I'm gonna leave my case for a couple of hours to go film, and I'm storing my case somewhere on site with the client, I like just knowing that if this battery's full or even close to full, it's going to get me all I need, and I don't have to carry extra batteries with me. That's a big plus to me. These small rig batteries also are not nearly as expensive as the Sony batteries you can buy, and I've been really happy with the actual battery life I get from them, and the reading is still pretty much correct when I see how much time I have left on the camera. They charge pretty quickly, so overall I really like it. Obviously, the battery itself is fairly large and it adds some weight to it, but you don't really notice it. And because it's kind of in the back here, it actually does a good job of actually being like a counterbalance because the lens is obviously very heavy. So battery back here just feels great. I just kind of usually put that right against my chest if I'm shooting handhelds or I use a monopod, but really like the battery life. That's a big plus to me. 2-3 batteries tops, you can shoot for 15 hours. Not a lot of shoots even go that long, so it's nice to know. Now, the third thing that I really like, and it's actually something not many people know about and potentially not even something that a lot of people care about, but to me, it actually played one of the biggest roles into me getting this camera, and that is cache recording. What is really cool about cache recording is you can essentially set a preset amount of time where it is basically always recording, but not actually recording. And when you press the record button, whatever that preset time you have, if it's 5 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever, it'll start the file when you actually hit record 15 seconds before. So let's say that I'm filming one of my clients and they're having a good conversation, and then I realize, oh, that's actually good stuff. I should capture this because I'm listening with headphones or whatever. I press record, and now the recording starts 15 seconds before that, and I don't miss anything. So in the past, if something quickly happened that I realized I kind of missed the shot and I wasn't paying attention or I wasn't recording quite yet, I have to press record and I'm going to miss the beginning of that. Because I have audio on my clients and a lav mic, for example, and I hear something good happening, I can just hit record and know that it actually started when they started and not right when I hit record. Now that may seem really weird, like, okay, well, that's not that useful, and that's okay if it's not to you. But that was actually a big deal for me because of the fact that I do most of the traveling for my speaker clients, and a lot of the stuff is so raw and just kind of off the cuff that sometimes I like to just have the peace of mind knowing if I suddenly hear a conversation that I'm missing that's really good, I can just hit record and boom, know that this stuff actually captured before I hit record, if that makes sense. The fourth thing that's a given with this type of cinema camera is the fact that it has built-in ND filters, and specifically on the Sony FX6, it's actually a variable ND filter. Now, if you're someone that has never had a camera with built-in ND filters, can't really appreciate how amazing this is. But if you are someone that has a camera with built-in ND filters, you can understand what I mean when I say once you have ND filters in a camera, it is really hard to use a camera that does not have it. The variable ND is just amazing because you don't even see the ND happen, right? When you first turn it on, you obviously see the ND filter go in front of the lens. But then when you're adjusting the variable ND for preference, you're not like seeing you're just essentially seeing a perfectly smooth transition to darker. And I really, really love that. I'm a person that has really never been a fan of NDs in general because the extra bulk and bringing them around and making sure you have a screw-on ND filter for your lens and you have all different size lenses. I've just always been a person, honestly, that just bumps the shutter and just lives with it. But having this available now, and a lot of times I just keep it in ND auto, and then that way, as I'm moving around, if it suddenly needs a little bit more, it'll just adjust accordingly. You'll never even see the adjustment. The ND filters are just so fantastic. And lastly, the overall image quality of this camera, I just think for some reason looks better than the FX3. I know the FX3 is newer. I know that the sensor is not that much different, and I normally only shoot 4K 24 frames a second on both my FX3 and the FX6. I just think that something about it looks different. When I import the footage from this camera, I just love the way the footage looks, whether it's my YouTube videos or whether it's client work. I'm just thrilled with the actual image quality that I get from this. And for a camera that's 5 years old, it's incredible to me that it still looks as good as it does. And yes, I'm sure another FX6 will come out soon and probably blow this out of the water. But so far, I've just been really, really happy with the image quality that I get from it. So it's important to realize that even though this camera is 5 years old, don't think that if you get an FX6, you're not going to be blown away by how good the image quality is, because the sensor, though it may be a little bit older, is still fantastic. The low light is still fantastic. The image quality is fantastic. All the codecs that are in it for the work I do are still fantastic. Log footage looks amazing. It's a really, really good camera. So overall, I have been very happy with my FX6 purchase, and I'd recommend that if you are someone that is considering getting it and you've been looking at it and the only thing holding you back is just feeling like you don't want to get a camera that's 5 years old, I would say go for it and potentially look at the used market if you aren't going to buy one brand new, because people get rid of cameras, obviously. And though the FX6 actually holds its value pretty well, because even used ones you still have to pay a decent amount for, if you get this as your camera, you will be very happy. It does not feel like you're shooting on a camera that's 5 years old. It still has great image quality, built-in ND filters, fantastic autofocus, great ergonomics. It looks good. It just is great. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was somewhat informative for you that are into video production. And until next time, see you again.